can hit share. She's written on the board. I need to start in 2 weeks. That's okay.
How's that, Alex? Am I centered and everything? Oh, well, I decided to do a short live feed today. This is really weird because I can't see the live feed at all. I decided to do a short live feed today, mainly because I have this physiology class starting in, when is it? December and January. We got the physiology for the herbalist class starting up. And I'll post the information in the what is that, the title? I'll post the information in the title. But in honor of this physiology class coming up, I thought I'd talk a little physiology, particularly about that burning feeling that you get in your belly when you have too much stomach acid. And I thought it was really interesting because there's all these reports out on the internet that say that if you use acid blockers, if you use the new proton pump inhibitors, if you use the stuff that you get for when you're starting to get an ulcer or you have an acid reflux problem, when you have that burning feeling, they'll give you a drug that stops you from making acid, stomach acid. Well, this seems good because the pain goes away and the ulcer starts to heal up. But recent research has indicated, it's all over the internet now, that if you take these pills, that you have double the chance of getting stomach cancer. Whoa. Well, I kind of thought that might be the case anyway, and I wanted to give you one physiological explanation as to why something like this might happen and what else you could do instead of using this drug. Well, you have stomach acid to be able to disinfect and digest certain foods and disinfect your food as it goes in. The stomach acid is found in the bottom of your stomach. That's where it's supposed to be, where a little piece of your stomach, the bottom part is pinched off and you have some food down there digesting with hydrochloric acid and a bunch of enzymes to digest your food. But we're saying here that you have too much stomach acid or acid in the wrong place, so it's burning a hole or coming up into your esophagus, into your lower throat and burning a hole. That would be heartburn. I want to talk a little about the physiology of the GI tract. It seems that the GI tract produces all these hormones. A lot of people, when you think hormones, you think about sex hormones, you think about testosterone or estrogen, but there's a lot of different kinds of hormones, and there's a whole bunch of hormones made in your GI tract. I want to talk about one in particular, and that one is gastrin. Gastrin. Can they see this?
Yep.
gastrin. Gastrin is a hormone that's secreted from your stomach and it goes into your blood and it goes all over your body. You can still see gastrin? And it comes back. It comes back again to your GI tract. And one of the things it does is promotes hydrochloric acid secretion. So the first thing this gastrin does when it goes out and comes back is it causes you to make more acid. And you need the acid. The reason this comes out into your bloodstream is because you get food in your stomach. You get protein. Or your stomach gets full and it stretches things out and it causes a secretion of gastrin in your blood. When that comes back to your GI tract, it causes hydrochloric acid to squirt and then you can digest your food. Now, that's the simple way of looking at it, okay? Food in your gut, you squirt out gastrin, makes hydrochloric acid, and you can digest it. But it does more than one thing. Hormones do more than one thing. When you hear about hormones, you generally hear this one-liner. Oh, gastrin causes hydrochloric acid to secrete, but it does other things. It does complementary things. It also causes an increase in the thickness of your stomach lining, which is a good thing. It causes your stomach lining to grow, because if you're squirting out more acid, you need a slightly thicker lining to be able to handle that acidity. Because you might burn away a little bit of it, so you need it to be nice and thick. And if you long term, you can't get a lot of, if you can't make enough stomach acid, the gastrin will cause more acid secreting cells. So over a period of months, you'd end up having more cells that make acid because the gastrin levels keep going up. So what we have here is that the gastrin goes out, comes back, it makes more acid, and it goes ahead and produces a thicker lining so you can handle it. And if you have normal gastrin levels in your blood, within normal limits, you have good immunity. Now, let's talk about what happens when you take an acid blocker. So you've got this upset stomach, it's burning, you have too much stomach acid, or the acid is in the wrong place. It should be all at the bottom of your stomach. Sometimes it's going up to the top or up into your esophagus. So you get this pill. The pill makes it so you can't make stomach acid. But your body is trying to make you make stomach acid. So you get protein, you get food in the bottom of your stomach, and you have these acid blockers that prevent you from making the acid, so your body squirts out more gastrin, and your body squirts out more gastrin. You're still not going to make it because this is preventing you from making it, the drug, but then you have high amounts of gastrin in your blood. And although you're blocking making the acid, you're not blocking growing the thicker stomach lining. So your stomach lining is getting thicker and thicker, and your gastrin levels stay high because you're trying to make more acid, but you can't make the acid. But your stomach lining keeps growing. And long term, you're going to end up making more acid-producing cells. And then these more acid-producing cells to try to get the stomach acid up. Long term, when it comes time to actually stop taking these antacid-like chemicals, you're actually making a lot of acid. You have more acid-producing cells. It's going to be hard to come off it. But if you're taking these acid blockers, proton pump inhibitors long term, you may be blocking the effects of the gastrin-producing acid, but you're not blocking the effects of the gastrin increasing your stomach lining, which can cause an overgrowth of stomach lining. And what a surprise! It actually doubles the incidences of cancer, stomach cancer, which it doesn't surprise me. Certainly, if you took my class on physiology this winter, Physiology for the Herbalist, shameless plug, we would talk about more hormones than just gastrin. We will focus on the GI tract, and certainly getting your GI tract, getting your ability to digest food online is very, very important for all kinds of illness, because that's where your energy comes from. So I'm not against these proton pump inhibitors short term as an emergency for a week or two when you're burning a hole through your stomach lining. Okay, it's just, these are out and out Band-Aids that are really good to let things heal up down in your stomach, in your GI tract. But they're not curing anything, and they're not helping you be in balance. So ideally, if you are looking for a Band-Aid, an herbal Band-Aid that I find extremely effective, I would use a slimy demulcent. Slimy demulcent. It's an herb that when you add water, it's a little slimy like oatmeal. My favorite for this would be marshmallow root tea. So you make some marshmallow root tea. I think I've talked about this before on live feeds. I probably would take a scoop of marshmallow root tea, inexpensive and easy to get. Put it in some water overnight. Let it taste kind of sweet. It can get a little thick. Go ahead and drink that down. If you don't have the time to let it sit overnight, you can take a scoop of marshmallow tea and boil it for 20 or 30 minutes. Let it sit for a little bit. I have seen marshmallow tea work miracles with acid reflux and ulcer-like conditions. It puts out the fire. It literally coats your stomach with slime and forms a protective layer. It causes an increase in your stomach's own mucus. And the mucus in your stomach is really good because it protects your stomach lining from the stomach acid. The mucus in your stomach is very specific. It will neutralize the acid right there at the edge. The acid gets to the mucus and it neutralizes it and it prevents it from getting into your stomach lining. So the marshmallow root tea, people don't think that's that fancy of an herb because it doesn't come from South America. It isn't from the rainforest. It isn't this one glitzy herb, but it's extremely effective. In fact, I have seen people not have to go to the emergency room from burning acid reflux that they were unable to stop somehow. Marshmallow root will do it. Now, certainly, if you use marshmallow root for a while to put out the fire of your excess acid, and you don't look at the root cause, eventually the marshmallow won't work. Then you may have to go to one of these acid blockers that have other side effects. Ultimately, what you want to do is look at lifestyle, look at what you're eating, look at when you're eating, look at posture sometimes has to do with this. And you want to look at increasing your ability to digest food properly. So you want to increase the prowess. You want to increase your digestive prowess. You want to be able to digest foods better. And that's something we can do with herbs and training. And we want to change our lifestyles. You may not be able to get this from many medical doctors. You might be able to get this from other alternative practitioners such as naturopaths or herbalists or medical doctors that are used to understanding the other methods you could use. Either way, I am here today to promote our Physiology for the Herbalist that's starting in December. Oh, what I got here? We got some Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays in December for a couple of weeks and most of January. Got short classes. I do want to talk about this physiology class briefly. How's our time? How's it been?
I don't know.
Does it say? Press the button at the top. It should tell you. No? Okay, well, I can do it real quick. So I started teaching physiology for Michael Moore back in the 90s, I think it was. I don't know, it might have been early 2000s. And I went and I just figured if I could teach a physiology class and make it fun, then I would have succeeded as a good teacher because physiology can be extremely boring. And so I developed a really good physiology class that has lots of songs. We have dances where the students dress up as calcium and magnesium and sodium, and people go in and out of membranes. We have all kinds of exciting events. It's only 2 hours a day because the 2-hour classes, because after about 2 hours everyone starts to fall asleep. It's kind of thick. But I think it's a really good class, and I think we should probably stop the live feed now. Hi, Dawn.
No.
No? Am I still on?
You're still on.
Oh, great. I wanted to give a shout out to Ernesto. Thanks for this beautiful t-shirt I got from you. I'm so happy about it. Thank you so much, and congratulations on the baby.